Press and go live. We're live.
We're live.
Let's wait for 1 minute while people show up. We need people for this to be fun. Is anyone there? Qualcuno è là? Qualcuno ci vuole commentare qualcosa? Qualcuno ci vuole informare sul se si sente bene, se si vede bene?
Clarissimo.
Non vedo nessuno, ma tanto questo finirà. Ecco, c'è una persona, perfetto. Possiamo andare. Buonasera, io sono Marcello Newman, a.k.a. Zuppe Brutte. Abbiamo con noi un ospite speciale, aspetterò un secondo a presentarlo. Oggi è una puntata inedita, mai testata, sperimentale di Zuppe Brutte. Parleremo del grilled cheese sandwich, che è una specie di mozzarella in carrozza all'americana, molto più universale della mozzarella in carrozza, molto più facile e rapida da fare, e quindi si presta a tutta una serie di situazioni che adesso esploreremo. Ho voluto assieme a me un esperto, an absolute expert, a real 100% American. So I've invited my friend Daniel Rineer on the show.
Hello. Ciao ragazzi.
Daniel, thanks for being with us.
Of course.
Can you just start by just like kind of briefly introducing yourself? What brings you to Italy? How we know each other, and what maybe just like a couple of introductory thoughts on the grilled cheese sandwich.
Okay, so I guess that we must know each other from my wife, who lived in Rome when you lived in Rome.
Yeah.
And so I think originally many years ago we met there and hit it off. And then before here, I live in Vanquilla in Torino, and since I think July, and I moved here from Manila, the Philippines, and I believe we were in touch, or I was contacting you already beforehand to play music.
Yeah.
And so that's what we've been doing, but also we cook together. So so we're gonna make grilled cheese, and that's pretty exciting. Comfort food and simple. It doesn't have to be that grand. It's whatever's in the fridge, or you can kind of go to town and make it as fancy as you like.
Yeah. That's very special about grilled cheese sandwich, and I guess this is more part of like a general philosophy about food, where it's that you don't necessarily have to stick to a specific recipe or aspire to perfection. So like the perfect bread for a grilled cheese, the perfect cheese for a grilled cheese. It's a philosophy that you can apply to bread and cheese in general when you're feeling hungry, hungover, or even depressed. I feel like it's a very good food for these uneasy and uncertain times.
Right, and then they have this, exactly the combination of cheese and bread. We have the same thing in Mexico. We have the quesadilla, and then we have what else do we have? We have the croque monsieur and things like this everywhere. So everyone's kind of got their own version of this simple, likely peasant food.
Fantastic.
In its origin.
So we probably should get cooking because 4 minutes have already passed. What are you drinking, Dan?
I'm having a Menabrea Bionda.
Menabrea Bionda goes perfect with a grilled cheese. I'm drinking Grignolino, which is a wine from the Piedmont region. It's you know it very well. We've had a lot of it together. Anyway, I'm gonna kind of go through steps of making the sandwich, and maybe after each step I'll ask you to kind of jump in and correct me if I'm doing things wrong or if there's something that you would change.
Okay, sure.
Well, the way I understand grilled cheese sandwich, and this is the way it was taught to me by several people, and I kind of double checked with my dad, who's from Cleveland, the other day. Now, what I've been told is you butter both sides of each slice of bread, which may be counterintuitive for some, but there's never enough butter. Italians are very scared of butter, they only use olive oil.
Yeah. It doesn't.
But
It doesn't look the same for this though. So
yeah. So what I'm doing now is maybe I look like some kind of drug addict doing this, but I'm heating up my knife.
Knife hits.
So it's gonna be easier to butter my bread. Is that a good idea?
Yeah, gotta butter your bread.
Okay, so I feel like my knife is suitably warm now. Now I'm gonna butter both sides of the bread, of each slice. Generously, I'd add. Dan, are you doing the same thing are we cooking together?
Yeah, I was gonna let you get started, and then I was gonna give it a go. I haven't made a grilled cheese actually, I made a grilled cheese about a week ago.
What was in it?
On some of cheese? Those giant slices of sourdough bread that you can get at the market.
Now,
so gigantic.
Yeah, sorry.
It was good. It was good, but I kind of like got a little crazy and started adding brie and other things. So still a grilled cheese nonetheless.
Yeah, but I guess simplicity is a good thing sometimes for grilled cheese. What do you think?
Yeah,
because people go kind of crazy. I was researching grilled cheese sandwiches yesterday because I was feeling a bit anxious about this webinar, and it turns out that like the grilled cheese aficionados out there, they're putting like all kinds of shit in their sandwiches, loads of different types of cheese, lots of different elements, which I would imagine don't necessarily add up to like a better sandwich. But maybe that's Italian of me to think that. Do you think this reflects something about how Americans feel about food?
I don't know. It's hard to generalize, I would say, but I think that Americans keep it pretty simple with their grilled cheese in general.
Yeah.
But there are times I find that in my time in Italy and all the time that I've been coming here over the years, that I'm often surprised at the simplicity of things. For example, pasta sauces and the like.
Yeah.
Whereas in the U.S., I think people would add a lot of stuff and cook it for way too long, perhaps.
Okay, so I'm putting cheese. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. No.
So
Can we see your food?
Yeah. So the clock is ticking. So I'm kind of trying to speed through this. So this is Gruyere I picked up at the cheesemonger. I feel like good cheeses for this would be Gruyere, which is Groviera, or Emmentaler, or like cheddar would be especially good. So like not too soft, not too hard, tasty cheese that's going to get gooey. And I've sliced it up into thin slices like this, and I put them on my bread. I don't want it to be super cheesy, also because I'm afraid that the cheese is not going to melt. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a very thin layer of Dijon mustard. This was told to me. Yeah, exactly. This is to make it extra sexy. It was told to me by a friend in Paris. I guess it makes it a bit more like grown up in a way. If that isn't like discriminatory of young people.
Yeah.
So now I'm putting a generous piece of butter in the pan. Heat on medium-low heat. You don't want it to be too hot because I feel like it's a simple dish, but there's a difficult equilibrium, because what you want to happen is the bread on the outside to get crunchy and nice and golden, the cheese on the inside to melt. And if the heat is too strong, what's going to happen is the bread is going to burn before the cheese melts. So you're going to eat this fucking like really hard blackened sandwich with really tough cheese in it. you want to
Sure.
go low and slow. Do you agree?
Medium heat.
Medium heat. Okay, so butter is melting now, and I'm gonna just put my sandwich in the pan. I want to show this because this is where the action is at. This is where it becomes food porn. So there's butter in the pan. You might notice I don't have a handle on my pan. It's broken off. But I've got really strong hands. So I can do this.
Yeah, very strong hands.
Now I'm putting my sandwich in the pan. As you can see, this is like very fat, hearty food. It's the kind of thing that you would want to eat coming back home after a night out instead of a pasta carbonara. And I mean, I want to be frank with you. The whole objective of this episode is to get Italian stoners eating grilled cheese sandwiches because they're not doing it at the moment, and I feel like they're missing out.
Yeah, you're doing them a real service.
So, Dan, that's going to be on the heat for a bit. I'm going to check if there are any questions for us right now or any comments. So if you want, you can get yours on the fire. So we can have a snack together in a bit.
Okay.
So let's see. Are there any questions from our audience? Qualcuno in ascolto vuole sapere qualcosa, qualche domanda? Ha avuto modo di mangiare un grilled cheese sandwich in passato e vuole condividere con noi qualche commento? Vediamo un po'.
We have a little bit of an American audience. Our messages here.
I see it. So
okay, so let me know after you.
So Gabriela Valero Arias is asking, what's your cheese of choice? Dan, do you want to answer that?
I would say that's, let me flip that, my cheese Gruyere. So, sorry,
Gruyere.
My camera's doing something. So, right, okay. As I have right here, somewhere, I have a couple of items. I have grated some Gruyere, casting a shadow over it, and I couldn't find any soft cheese. So much like my favorite American-style grilled cheeses, I got some Emmentaler, quote unquote Emmentaler, that's in this nasty plastic packaging, and that's kind of, in my opinion, is kind of the best because it's made of vegetable oil usually, and so it just melts right away. So
it doesn't look like Emmentaler, man.
Gruyere that it's not Emmentaler, my friend. It's just called. Can't always trust the label, you know. Anyway.
So I mean, for our Italian audience,
great.
Like as a quick aside for our Italian audience, that would be the equivalent.
This kind of thing is sacrilege for Italians because they're really good with their food, but I totally respect. But at the same time, we're in a quarantine, baby, so we can doing this.
Yeah.
What else was available? The only bread available to me after I waited in line with a lot of people with masks today was pane per sandwich. So it's a white bread, which is I think pretty good for this. And maybe you want to check on your thing here, just time wise.
Yeah, so we're 15 minutes into the program, so it's officially time crisis mode. You've got 15 minutes to get your sandwich going. So one thing I want to tell our audience, because I feel like it's important.
I'll get back to mine.
Okay, yeah.
Look at the mole while you prepare.
So we're doing okay here. I'm going to show the audience. So the bottom of the sandwich is kind of nice and golden, but the cheese isn't really melting yet. Now, I want to give you a couple of pro tips and tricks that I got from my father, who's a real grilled cheese enthusiast. Now, two things to know. Number one, you might be tempted to put a lid on your pan, un coperchio, to make the cheese melt. Now, I totally understand that temptation. I've been making grilled cheeses that way for years. You don't want to do it. It's a bad idea. It's going to make your sandwich soggy. It's going to get your sandwich full of like vapor because it's going to get trapped under the lid, and that's going to make for a soggy sandwich. So don't even try. Do it without a lid, even if it means that your bread might get slightly more burnt. Second thing is about bread. So my feeling about bread is, since grilled cheese is like a philosophy or like a methodology rather than a recipe specifically, you can kind of use whatever bread you want as long as it doesn't have big holes in it. The cheese is gonna fall through. So casareccio is fine,
Sure.
but you might want to ask your baker for casareccio with small holes. Now I'm gonna flip, and then Dan, I'm gonna pass the line to you. So let's see. Bam! Beautiful. So you see how it's kind of golden,
Bravo.
slightly brown there. It's nice and crunchy. That's gonna make for a tasty grilled cheese sandwich. So I'm gonna lower the flame a bit and get myself a nice glass of wine. Dan, how's your sandwich going?
Okay, so I'm doing a bit of a what seemingly preferred method by a lot of people, and I'm gonna put butter in a pan at room temperature, some burro piemontese, and I'm gonna put a little mayo on here, which is also probably really sacrilege here. And the reason for that is that it browns up real nice and sexy. So here I go.
Dan,
And,
sorry, is this on the inside? Yeah, is this the inside or the outside of your sandwich?
This is the outside. So we're not making like a mayonnaise condiment sandwich. This is simply for the browning from the egg in the mayo. And then I'm going to turn my crappy pan to medium heat. Sorry, it's getting hard because I'm cooking cheese with one hand. Let me just turn this on. Anyway, maybe you want to talk about yours for a moment while I get set up.
No, mine's doing okay. I'm very curious about the mayonnaise on the outside thing. I've seen on the internet that a lot of people do it that way. I feel like it's probably a lighter alternative to butter, which I understand. Also, I guess people just like the taste of mayo. I guess the message here is a message of acceptance, inclusion, flexibility, creativity. Take your ingredients, take your bread, take your cheese, and do whatever you want with it. But since I guess we don't have that much time left, I want to go on to a subject which I think is very important, which is, are there other things that you would put inside your sandwich? I know people put like tomato. I put mustard. So I want to ask you two questions. The first is,
you could do like tomato cotto, ham if you're in the U.S. Like I told you, like in the South they do like a pimento sandwich in like New Orleans in the U.S. and stuff like that. So, yeah, people add different things in different places, I guess. I don't know.
I feel like it's
didn't study
like,
I'm just on this video.
Yeah.
So
I feel like it's a bit like those things like Bloody Marys sometimes, where people, like, you see funny memes of Bloody Marys with like bacon and mozzarella and pickles in them, etc. And I guess that actually is the sign of great food, like something that you can kind of toy with and that you can put your favorite things inside. I mean, it might be unelegant. It might mean kind of going against the grain of tradition. But I mean, whatever floats your boat. It's 2020.
Hey, so, okay. So my pan, and now it's made. And oh shit, I put the cheese on the wrong side.
No,
Okay,
Dan.
so I'm gonna do like this. I'm gonna take it. Things are falling apart. The pan is warm. Mayo side down. In this case, we have a little mayo on the inside. Oh well, not a big deal. And I'll apply a little bit more to here and let it ride.
That's perfect.
Generous amount of mayo, but I hope that doesn't get too dark. But it's hard on this stovetop to really regulate this. So let's see.
So man, in the meanwhile, my
How's yours
sandwich
setting
seems
up?
to be ready. I think my grilled cheese is ready. I'd be grateful if you could give me feedback. The color is really nice. I'm scorching my hands to hold it, so it's still warm. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it in two, which I think is gonna make it really nice because I want to see the cheese inside. So, bam! This is a very small sandwich. It's the kind of sandwich you could eat as a snack. So the cheese is melted, which is good. I'm gonna put that in a plate, and I'm gonna add on the side an ingredient which I think is very fitting with this kind of thing, and that's a pickle. These are zuccato pickles. Now, a thing to know about pickles in Italy is it's really hard to get nice kind of Polish pickles in the supermarkets unless you go to like the Eastern European supermarkets or to some of the kind of alimentari that are open till late at night, who are run by Eastern Europeans, and there you can get really nice
Gotta wash your
pickles.
hands.
Best brand is Krakus, if anyone's wondering. Krakus pickles, you eat. They're like the standard. They're like the Chico of pickles for Polish people, and you can get Krakus, which are really amazing at a lot of these shops. But if you don't have any of these shops at hand, you can always get Zuccato. I feel like Zuccato is the best Italian brand for pickles, but I wonder if we have any other opinions out there. So we have some comments from home. Esmeralda says,
Okay.
wow, never used mayo, but I've tried with flavored homemade butter, like curry butter or paprika butter. That sounds amazing, Esmeralda. Go for it. Do it.
Do it.
There
are no limitations. It's not a grilled cheese sandwich, you know? I'm going to add too many different things, is what I would say.
So our friend Lady Lollipop, shout out to Lady Lollipop. Don't know who you are. Lady Lollipop says Polish pickles are a methodology, a philosophy, an ontology. Completely agree. Completely agree. Polish pickles are where it's at. Remember, pickles or gherkins, as they're referred to in New York, exist because they were brought over by Eastern European, I guess mostly Jewish immigrants from Poland, from Russia. So happy Passover, Hag Sameach, everyone. And remember, when you're eating your pickle and your grilled cheese sandwich or your hamburger, it's thanks to Eastern European immigrants. So shout out to immigrants everywhere.
Shout out to the
with
Eastern
or without
European
pickles.
immigrants.
Yeah.
Shout out,
Dan. You're getting you're getting Unag is says you've got a nice flip.
Okay, I've got a nice split.
You're flipping your sandwich nicely.
Thank you. Okay, so here it is.
So Dan, we want to see you. We want to see you eat the sandwich, and I think we should end this episode by eating our sandwich together. I'd really be so happy if someone following us was eating a grilled cheese or was planning on doing it in the next days.
To let mine set up. 30 seconds or something. But remember, I put a little Tabasco in mine, you know, give it just a little spice. Just a touch.
Wise.
So here it is. We've got about 4 minutes left on this broadcast. Look, that's pretty sexy, I would say. I don't know. What
That's
do I
beautiful,
know?
man. That's beautiful. So let's take a bite. Cheers.
Cheers, man. Cazzo. Here's my wife, Clarissa. She's watching me eat a delicious grilled cheese all by myself in quarantine. So,
you should share it, man. Maybe Clarissa wants some of your sandwich.
Come get a half of it. Says no. I have cheese on my face. Okay?
That's beautiful. See,
it's beautiful.
I think you put a lot more cheese. You put a lot of cheese in your sandwich. I think that was a wise choice.
I didn't put a lot in the sandwich. Let me see.
My sandwich looks very kind of austere in comparison. You can barely see the cheese. I should have put twice as much cheese.
You were worried your cheese wasn't going to melt fast enough, but I like that sandwich. I like a variety of cheese sandwiches, you know? Yeah.
That's really nice. Buono.
Buonissimo.
Beautiful, man. I like that a lot. And I think the bread makes for a nice diagonal cut. That's really elegant what you did. Is that like the standard for how you cut a square grilled cheese sandwich?
Right. Anyway, so I'm sorry, I've been going around in circles and flipping around, but now my endorphins are rushing. And I wish you could come over, man, so we could tie one on and do our thing. But yeah, to all the stoners out there, make sure that you get into the grilled cheese.
Esatto. This would be the equivalent of like aglio, olio, e peperoncino or pasta alla carbonara, which I guess is like staple food for Italian stoners getting home from a night out. I'm pretty confident that like the Italian grilled cheese could become a thing. People should embrace it. I've heard from one of our partners here at the show that you can use provola affumicata or scamorza affumicata, and that makes for a really awesome grilled cheese.
Yeah, I love it.
I haven't tried it with Parmigiano or with Grana because it's very hard cheese, but I'm quite confident that it could work out.
If you grate it really fine, maybe, and over something that's more melty, then maybe it can work. I've made it with like brie and things like that before, but the flavor of that kind of turns it into something different, in my opinion. So.
Yeah. And also, man, before we have to go and say hi to our wonderful audience, who, by the way, I mean, thank you guys for having been with us tonight for such an experimental episode.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
But I wanted to ask you, and you've got like 1 minute to answer this question. If you wanted to make this an actual meal, like someone's coming over for dinner, what could you serve this with to complement it in the best possible way and make it look like a real meal?
Well, I don't know. I guess classically, like tomato soup and a simple salad, and some cornichons, or like you said, something pickled would be nice. Parsley on the side, some garnish. Simple. Soup. I think soup. Something to dip it in. Tomato soup. Something
right.
Like that.
And anyway, I think anyone coming to your house receiving such a beautiful sandwich like the one you've made should be grateful, both to be alive and to be able to go to someone else's house after this time of crisis, and secondly, to have such an amazing sandwich. I think this is our goodbye for tonight. This was Cooking Time with Zuppe Brutte and DJ Daniel Rineer. We also make music as American music, so check us out. You can find us on Instagram as Daniel Rineer and Zuppe Brutte. Follow Decamerette. All the shows are great. Buona serata, buonanotte, grazie.
Buona serata, buonanotte. Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.